Well, hello, I'm Lenora Bresler, and welcome to the January 15th, 2017 edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details. Now, we've been studying for almost 2 weeks now, shepherding in the Bible, and the importance that God places upon the metaphor of Jesus Christ as the Good Shepherd. We're going to be finishing that up here directly, and we're in John 10, the 10th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus goes to great extremes to talk about his status as the Good Shepherd. But he goes one further when he says that he is the gate or the door. And then he says, interestingly, that anyone who tries to come into the sheep pen, not coming through the gate, going over the wall or any other way, is a thief and a robber. And he says that others have tried to do that, but his sheep have not listened. And with him as the gate, they will go in and out into the pasture. Now, what is all this about? Well, we talked about the fact that when the sheep are at the shepherd's home, there would be some kind of pen for them. But if you're not familiar with how sheep herding is done in the Middle East, you might have a very wrong concept of this idea of the gate or the door of the sheep pen. You probably are envisioning a square or rectangle with 4 sides made out of fences, and one of those is a gate that can swing open and closed and is kept generally locked. Well, that's not the way it is. Generally, in the Middle East, the sheep pens are actually 3-sided, and one of the sides is completely left open. Whether those sides are wood or stone, doesn't matter, but one side is completely left open. You might say, well, that's not very good at keeping them in or out. Well, generally during the day, when the sheep are there near the homestead of the shepherd, there's not a lot of danger to them. It's not like they're out traveling, as we saw in Psalm 23, through the valleys of the shadow of death where the predators are there. It's not that they're in the middle of those wadis where flash floods might drown them, or where they're away from the shepherd, so if they get cast down, meaning they flip themselves over, they can't get righted. No, it's a much safer environment there back at the homestead. However, there are times when at night, or if indeed predators are on the prowl in the neighborhood, where the shepherd is going to want to be sure that the sheep are better protected. In that situation, he will indeed get them together and lead them, as we said yesterday, by his voice and by them following literally his feet, going in his footsteps. And he will place them in this 3-sided pen. Now, how does he keep them there? Literally, the shepherd lays himself down. Is this not amazing? He lays himself down and he becomes that 4th wall or the gate. And so no one can come in and get at those sheep and attack them without coming straight through him. Anyone who tries to get to the sheep without going through the shepherd would obviously be doing that up to no good, and they would be a thief or a robber. And in the Middle East, and even into the 20th century in the far west of our own country, any kind of trying to steal herds, whether it's sheep or cows or oxen, was a very, very serious crime, and actually could be punishable by death in many situations. So it was taken very seriously. The shepherds protected those sheep at all costs. Literally, you had to go through the physical body of the shepherd in order to get into the sheep pen, and of course you'd have to in order to try to hurt or attack the sheep. This gives all kind of new meaning, does it not, to Christ's claim that no man comes to the Father except through me. Fascinating. When you read chapter 10, he goes to great length talking about this over and over and using those terms that mean, wake up, something important is being said here. Verily, verily, I say to you. And he says it over and over. That means we need to listen up. I hope you've enjoyed this review of shepherding in the Bible with Psalm 23 and Jesus' great I am the Good Shepherd passage of John 10. Join me tomorrow for all new things that we're going to learn as we look at often overlooked details of well-known biblical passages. I'm Lenora Bresler. Visit me tomorrow on the Bible. Delight in the details. Have a marvelous night.